not going to be a completely wasted day. Do you know what I mean? So, and I can sign one person in, so I signed him in, he had a little suit on and everything. I thought it's going to be brilliant. So I went straight to the blackjack table. That's their best one, I think. I'm not a doctor, but I think that's... I love that, I love that. I said, OK, Dougie, you know the score. Bet 2 for good and 1 for bad. Do you understand? He went, yeah. I went, brilliant. So I'm about £1,000 down in half hour. I went, Dougie, do that thing, count the cards, know what good cards come, remember all the cards, do that thing, whatever it is, right? And tell me to bet 2 for good. He went, yeah. Another £1,000 down. I thought, what sort of an autistic... So I was confused. I threw some toothpicks on the carpet. I said, how many? He went, I don't know. I said, there's 7. I can see there's 7 from here. Wasted. So I took him back home, went to the mother. There's been a mistake. He walks like Rain Man, but he's got none of that clever shit. We're building a swimming pool, live with it. Do you know what I mean? So they better give us planning permission. If they don't, I'm going to keep the house, but I'm going to rent it out for £1 a week to some crackheads. How do you like them as neighbours? One of the few pleasures of fame is that you can do good things, but in all honesty, I think some causes are more worthy than others. Joking aside, cancer's a very worthy cause. Autism's a very worthy cause. But I got asked to do a benefit gig recently for sufferers of obesity. What? She went, sufferers of obesity. I went, you mean fat people? She went, no, because obesity is... Well, she actually went, no, because obesity... She was eating, of course she was eating. She was peckish between snacks. And, no. But she said, obesity is a disease. No, it's not, is it? You just like eating, don't you? No, it's not, is it? How is that a disease? Oh, I'm so fucking ill. Oh, I'm well ill. I'm really ill. I said to her, what's the disease? She went, everything tastes good. Everything? Yeah, not salads. Salads. It's not a disease, is it? Leprosy is a disease. Can you imagine Jesus in the temple? People come up to him in bandages going, Jesus, my face is falling off. Can't stop now, as a fat bird in a third pie. They eat too much. That's what does it. Simple science. But they complain, don't they, fat people? They complain about the situation. They go, no. I'm getting fat. Oh. Aeroplane seats. They're not big enough for someone like me. No, they're not. Because if they were, we'd only get 12 fucking people on the plane. Unbelievable. It's not fair. It is fair. That's what happens. And if we're talking about fairness in aeroplanes, why is it I get the same luggage allowance as a bloke who's 40 stone? Why is that allowed? We're both allowed 32 kilograms on the plane. I want to go, no, he used up his 32 kilograms on his tits. It's not a disease. I saw a documentary about a woman who was 28 stone, right? Because she ate 10 pie and chips a day. That'll do it. 10 separate meals of pie and chips. That's all she ate. 10 separate trips to the chip shop. In a cab. Didn't even walk that. Wasted calories. So they wired her jaw together. So she liquidized 10 pie and chips a day. Now she's on pie smoothies. Now she's not even chewing. That used up 5 calories. Do you know what I mean? So she gets fatter. They take her to hospital to have that operation where they staple your stomach together. And she's sitting in hospital looking all depressed. Well, you can't eat for an hour before an operation, can you? And she went, it's a really dangerous procedure, but it's the only option left. One, jogging? You don't even walk. Salads? You don't like the taste? Right. 9 pie and chips a day? It's a start, isn't it? It's a starter to it. I'm not having a go. I'm a bit overweight myself. The other night someone shouted, "No shit." Oh. I thought, could be that. That'd be great, wouldn't it? You go to the doctor, he goes, "No, you're not fat, you're constipated." I had to go to the doctor to have a medical for this tour. I've had medicals before for TV work. They check your pulse and go, "Yeah, fine, you're not going to die in the next 3 weeks." But I always think, what if I fail the medical? What if they say, "No, you're not fit enough, you can't do the TV work"? Then I see Johnny Vegas on telly and I think, I'm all right. Do you know what I mean? He's like my canary down the mine. If I'm in a restaurant, I go, "Do you want a pudding?" I go, "Is Johnny Vegas still alive?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Bring it on." Okay, now. So I went along to Harley Street and the doctor said, "It's a bit more thorough than usual. It's a big tour. So we need a urine sample." I went, "Fine, yeah." So he gave me the little thing in the bag to put it in. Did that. Came back to him, good as gold. He went, "Oh, can you strip down to your boxer shorts?" I thought, this is thorough. I'd had to do that before. But I stripped down to the boxer shorts. Oh, for fuck. The one day I wear white boxer shorts. Big wet patch from the wee. Why didn't he warn me? Why didn't he say, "Be careful, I'll be checking your pants in a minute"? You know. And there's nothing I could do. I just stood there and it was one of those pairs that just had a slit and I tried to sort of pull it over. And it pinged back and he saw it. I saw the moment he saw it. There's nothing I could do. And I was thinking, oh, sorry, he's a doctor, he can't tell anyone. Then I thought, if I was a doctor, I'd tell everyone everything. I would. I'd come and go, "You'll never guess what I found up an arse today." So I thought, I'm just going to tell everyone. And I had to touch my toes as well, which sounds all right in front of a doctor, but it's still a man you haven't met before in pants that you've wet. So you feel really vulnerable and you try and make everything look okay in the doctors, don't you? They go, "Does that hurt?" "Definitely not. Definitely not. Touch your toes? Easy." Right? And the truth is, I've got to that age where I have to make a sort of noise to get me up and down now. Do you know what I mean? That didn't happen in your 20s. 20s, bang. 30s, bang. 40s, you go, "Ugh. Why do you do that?" I think it's a warning to family and friends that they hear that. I go, "Oh, Grandad's bending over. And he's up, on with the barbecue." But things happen with age. But it's good and bad. I'm at that age now where it's totally acceptable for me to back in a lorry driver I've never met before. Do you know what I mean? If you're 20 and really skinny, they go, "Fuck off, mate." But I can go, "You're all right, you're all right. Go on. Whoa. Be careful, plods around the corner." Do you do that? Do you sort of be a bit more working class, a bit tougher with like people in boiler suits? "Oh, mate, yeah, not too bad, yeah. Do you want a cup of fucking tea?" Like that. Anyway, I wet myself. Good. After I came back, I told my friend about the wee incident, and my friend went, "Oh, you should have gone commando." What? That would have been less embarrassing, wouldn't it? So now I look down, I think, "Oh, I've wet myself, what can I do?" Oh, I know, they're coming off too. That's as dry as a bone, Doc. Should have gone commando. Do commandos not wear pants? Why is it called? They must wear pants, don't they? Yeah. Why aren't you wearing pants? What? I'm a commando and I'm wearing pants. I've never heard that phrase before. I've never heard that phrase. They're going to see that. A little bit. Should have gone commando. But I am a little bit overweight myself, and I never worried about it before I was famous. And I'm not vainer now. It's that you read about yourself, and the papers need an adjective. They can't just say Ricky Gervais comedian. They say things like Ricky Gervais tubby comedian. Why say that? Why? Don't give them clues. Let them make their own minds up. One said, rotund comic. Rotund? That's like a giant wombat. I'm not rotund. I've been referred to as a chubby funster. That's a gay porn star, isn't it? It's me, the chubby funster. I was jogging once with my iPod. Yeah, looking good. Paparazzi got me. Full page in the Sun the next day with the headline, iPodge you. Cheeky bastards. Dawn French has had a go at my weight. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. French and Saunders Christmas special last year. I love French and Saunders. I think they're great. I've liked them for a long time. I think they're really good performers. And I was watching this at home. Sketch comes on. Bubbly Dawn knocking on the door of a house. Inside is Jennifer going, who is it, please? Yes? Who is it, please? It's me. Who's me? Me. The little fat one with the big ego. She opens the door. Oh, I thought you meant Ricky Gervais. Good gag. No, it is a good gag. If you hand it out, you've got to take it. Comedians have a go, you know, it's just fine. And she's putting herself down. She's lumping us both in. You know what I mean? She's saying, we both got egos. We probably have got egos. We're performers. Although, if Dawn was here, you wouldn't be able to see that. I'm joking. You'd be able to see some of it, wouldn't you? But it would spell Roy. Oh dear. She started it. No, she's putting us both down. She's going, we both got egos and we're both fat, and we are both fat. Different categories though, isn't there? There's different weight classes. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't tell the whole story. On a scale of too thin, average, bit fat, me, Dawn. She started it. It's not a disease. Therefore, it's not a worthy cause. Talking of which, saw someone collecting the other day for ME. Not MS, not the crippling wasting disease. Oh no, ME. That's the one where don't feel like going to work today. Ding, 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 ding. Oh. ME. I apologise to anyone who suffers from ME. You're not going to have a go, are you? No. I do apologise because I've since learnt that it is a real disease. I thought it was psychosomatic, but it's physiological. And it's a very misunderstood disease as well, so it's easy to ridicule it. I suppose it's because the symptoms aren't apparent. It's not like losing a limb. They go, we're tired, and we go, well, how do we know that? And it sounds like a mollycoddling society that accepts this new disease that wasn't around 100 years ago, you know. You don't see it in third world countries. You'd never hear a starving African complaining about having ME. Do you know what I mean? Sucky. Walk to the well. This is not racist, okay? I don't want to have my perfume contract taken away like Jade Goody. It got madder and madder, didn't it, that Celebrity Big Brother? I mean, it started off well. Opening night, H from Steps comes out as gay, and we're all meant to go, you're joking. And his name's Ian Watkins. I was like, where's the H? All these years, that must have just stood for homosexual. He was trying to give us clues, wasn't he? He was trying to come out. Or, what's your name? Or just call me H. It's not racist. Sucky. What? Delicate stuff, this. One false move and I'm Jim Davidson. Relax, I know what I'm doing. It's the accent, isn't it? And I'm not very good at accents either. I'm trying to do Nelson Mandela. I'll give it a bit of dignity. He's sort of, it's sort of high, isn't he? He says things like, Winnie, what are you burying in the garden? not racist. It's fine, isn't it? It's an impression. People are very worried about that, aren't they? They go, oh, is that racist? Can you say that? Will that be taken the wrong way? Particularly this year, because it's 200 years since the abolition of slavery, so awareness is heightened. But that wasn't the end of racism. It was still inherent in society as late as the 50s and 60s in England and America. And one incident sparked off the civil rights movement. A black woman called Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white person on a bus. It was the law, but she'd had enough. And she was arrested. But then that law was changed. But she didn't stop there. She started sitting in those seats meant for disabled people. Unbelievable. Isn't it? She talked to the driver when the bus was in motion. Did she always have the correct change ready? Did she bollocks? What was her problem? Sucky. They're starving. I've forgotten the point of this. Oh, Emmy. Sucky. Walk many miles to the well. That was all right. That wasn't too bad. Fuck off. 6 BAFTAs. It's actually 7. Oh, I've forgotten. Who's counting? I am. Sucky. Walk many miles to the well and fetch the water and come back. That was Yorkshire. What the fuck am I doing? I don't know. Shush. Right. It's not worth it. Right. Oh, Suki, I'm reet parched. Go to well with it. Oh, Suki. Suki. Suki, my daughter. Walked many miles to the well. Suki, walked to the well. He's trying to be casual, like it's no big thing. He doesn't know anything wrong. He's just a normal day. Suki, walked to the well and fetch the water and come back. Oh, fuck that. Why is it that word? Suki. Suki. Oh, fucking hell. Suki, walk to the well and fetch the water and bring it back. So, whoa, shut up, that was all right. Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. Suki, walk to the well and fetch the water and bring it back to mash the grain. But father, I cannot walk to the well and fetch the water and bring it back to mash the grain. Suki, why can't you walk to the well and fetch the water and bring it back to mash the grain? Emmy. I told you it wasn't worth it. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, the funny side of famine. Cheers. I did do charity work before I was famous. When I worked at the Students' Union, the University of London, one of the first big charities I got involved with was the Terence Higgins Trust, the big AIDS charity, and it was mid to late 80s, and people were like, what's this new thing called AIDS? What is... I mean, it's gone from strength to strength now. It's doing brilliantly. It's gone global. Got its own day and everything. 1st of December, World AIDS Day. I don't think it'll ever pick up like Christmas. We don't do anything in our house. There's no decorations. But I discovered something. You're still learning. The first HIV virus was a combination of 2 separate viruses that combined in rhesus monkeys, and it made this rudimentary form of AIDS. And it was fatal to them, but this was passed to chimpanzees. Sometimes chimps would get a bloodlust and eat a rhesus monkey, and it evolved and mutated in chimps. And because we're 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee, it was able to be passed to humans. And the first human contracted AIDS when he was chopping up chimp meat and cut his finger, although that's the excuse I'd have given. You'd have to come up with something, wouldn't you? You go to the doctor and you go, oh, I feel terrible, doc. The doctor goes, oh, I'm not surprised. You go, is it ME? Worse than ME. You wish you had ME. You shouldn't be laughing about it. He's got terrible news. No, a terrible doctor. You're the first human to contract AIDS. Is that bad? Can be. Still laughing. You should be... How would I got that? Two ways. One, you were fucking a chimp up the arse. Fucking a chimp up the arse? Me? No way. How else could I have got it? Oh, I don't know, you could have been chopping a chimp up, cut your finger, that one. Choppy, chimpy finger, one. I bet he went straight out to the jungle and found that chimp and went, you gave me AIDS. Oh, what? You gave me AIDS. I gave you a blowjob, shush. No, I got AIDS from you. Well, where did I get AIDS from? From eating monkeys. I don't eat monkeys. You're either eating them or fucking them. I was eating them. That's how it happened. Always learning. Global warming. That's the big one. That's the one they're trying to get celebrities to endorse. And it is the big one, I suppose. It's the end of the world, but it can bring brilliant weather to England. Serious point though, isn't it? How do you go to Bob in Yorkshire, who's had a lovely summer, he's playing cricket and barbecuing, and you go, it's all got to stop, Bob. All got to stop. You can't drive your car anymore. You can't use aerosols because you'll eventually stress out some Eskimo. He's not going to give a fuck, is he? Sorry, that's racist. Oh, sorry. I don't know what's come over me tonight. I'm really sorry. You can't say Eskimo anymore. They want to be called Inuits. So, I don't know who's complaining. You live in snow. Who's going, oh, Gervais called us what? Oh, my blood's boiling. Which is a good thing here. No. The first Eskimos, oh, sorry, racist, Inuits, migrated from Asia across land masses that are no longer there, and they settled in the polar regions of northern Canada, Siberia, and Greenland. And when they got there, and the one in front went, this is all right, isn't it? Why didn't the one at the back go, what? Should we settle here? Forever? Are you serious? Yeah, why not? Because I'm fucking freezing. Let's keep walking, let's find a tree. Fucking hell. But the scariest statistic that I've heard about the erosion of this planet in recent years is that by 2030, there'll be no fish in the sea. According to a CNN report, best estimate, no fish by the year 2030. And I blame Comic Relief. Remember that stupid slogan they came up with? Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Give a man a fishing rod and he'll go fucking mental, won't he? Another one. Give me that. Give him a fish, greedy bastard. Comic Relief. Not a year goes by where Richard Curtis doesn't call me up and go, oh, Ricky, Africa's still the poorest place on the planet. It's riddled with AIDS and famine. It's war-torn. Would you like to go there? And no, it sounds fucking awful. You're really not selling it to me, Richard. Once he's called me and it wasn't about that. He offered me a part in The Vicar of Dibley. And I said, tell me about this Africa trip again. Oh, she started it. It's not a disease. When I first got famous, I knew that if I put myself in the office as opposed to just stay behind the scenes, my life would change, but I wanted it was an upshot of what I did. Fame wasn't the driving force, that the work was, and I didn't want to be lumped in with those celebrities that do anything to become famous. Do you know what I mean? And I was very prickly about the whole subject, and one of the first interviews I did after the office broke in about 2001, the journalist really rubbed me up the wrong way with this question. She said, so what advice would you give to anyone else who wants to become famous? And I went, I'd tell them to go out and kill a prostitute. Which I thought was a really clever answer. She looked at me like I was mental. And I didn't do this bit in Ipswich. a local paper called me from Ipswich, and she went, are you worried about offending people? I went, well, yeah, because it's not the point of what I do. And she went, no, but the joke's about the Ipswich murder. I went, it's not a joke about the Ipswich murder. That's a true anecdote. I really said that to a journalist, and it happened 6 years before the Ipswich murders, which ruined her angle a little bit. And she actually went, oh, did you hear about the Ipswich murders? And that's what reminded you? Oh, no. It's nothing to do with murder, it's a slight on fame. It's like going, well, if you just want to become famous, do something horrendous. That was, and I explained it to her, and she went, oh, well, thanks very much. So the next day, she went with the headline, Ricky Gervais apologises for sick joke. I thought, what are the rules? I've explained it to her, and she does these vox pops and this whole sort of string of Chinese whispers. Oh, that's racist. I'm so sorry about this. I don't know what's come over me. Suggesting that Chinese people can't whisper. Sorry about that. That would be a strange racial trait, wouldn't it? Bigots getting hold of that one, going, the trouble with the Chinese is they can't fucking whisper. What? They can't whisper. Of course they can. They can't. The Chinese cannot whisper. Watch this. Chang, whisper to me. Hello! Oh, for fuck's sake. Shouting hero must be racist. Come on. On the same day, The Sun published a picture of Jade Goody with the caption, racist scum. They published a picture of that Chinese snooker player with the caption, pot noodle. But when the journalist said to me, oh, what advice would you give to become famous? And I tend to go to prostitute. It's meaning, look, if you think that's all you care about, just being famous, you can do something terrible if that's the only aim. Serial killers want to become famous. The way it's going, where people do anything to be famous, I can imagine people at home now reading the paper going, this rapist is getting a lot of column inches. Do you know what I mean? Where will it end? Have you seen those adverts on telly for rape? Not adverts for rape, not... Starts 10 a.m, everyone must go. No, it's... It's two blokes, and one of them's bragging. He's going, yeah, got off with a lovely bird the other night. We was kissing and cuddling. Then it got a bit more serious, and I shoved her down onto the sofa, and he morphs, and he's in court. And the voiceover goes, if you don't get consent, you could go to prison for rape. What sort of society has to remind someone not to rape? Was there people going, just off out raping, mum? Oh no, remember? Remember the advert? What? You can't rape. I can't what? You can't rape. I can't what? Whose idea was that campaign? Going, we got to remind them. Was there people in court with the judge going, why did you rape her? I forgot. You'd forget your head if it wasn't screwed on. Get out of here, scamp. Have you heard those local radio ads on a similar subject? It's a quiet street, sound of stiletto heels, and a car goes, and he goes, need a lift, darling. And the voiceover goes, if you want to know the price of an illegal minicab, just ask a rape victim. Don't. Worst advice I've ever had. No, it really winds them up because it brings back terrible memories. So I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. I just burst into an incident room and went, how much to Hounslow? And she went, ooh. So really irresponsible advertising. Like that one, hit me at 30 miles an hour and there's an 80% chance I'll live. Encouraging gambling. I like those odds, but don't. It's... Socrates said that fame is the perfume of heroic deeds. Fame is the perfume of heroic deeds. Well, it probably was back then. There was no Heat magazine and Big Brother. You actually had to do something to become famous. You were a great scholar or a leader of men. And all the way through history, that was the case. 500 years ago, the most famous man on the planet was Leonardo da Vinci because of all the great things he did. He was a painter. He was an inventor. Oh, go on, mate. Sorry. I can't do one-on-one. It's a big place. You know? In a much smaller room, I'd still ignore you, cunt. Shush. Yeah, Leonardo da Vinci. It really annoys me when you hear these people go, you know Leonardo da Vinci? Yeah, he invented the helicopter. No. Yeah. 500 years ago he invented the helicopter. No, he didn't invent the helicopter. Doing a sketch of something and going, this will fly, isn't inventing anything. I think back then he'd have folded under questioning him, so I go, wow, how should it fly exactly? Sir Isaac Newton, most famous man in his day because of all the great things he did. The laws of motion, discoverer of gravity. I was talking to Carl Pilkington. Yeah, he's a different sort of genius to those. And we got onto science and stuff, and he was going, who's the best, who's this and that, and I said, well, I suppose Isaac Newton's generally considered the father of modern physics, and he went, what was so good about him? I went, wow, he did the laws of motion. I went, he discovered gravity. Carl went, what? I went, he discovered gravity. Carl went, there wasn't a problem. I went, what? He went, we weren't all floating about, were we? I went, no, listen. No, the story goes, Isaac Newton was sitting under a tree one day, and an apple hit him on the head, and Carl went, why wasn't he at work? On the subject of fame, right? Did you see Celebrity Love Island last year when Bianca Gascoigne said her all-time hero was Callum Best? And we were talking about this the next day with Carl and my other friend Glyn, and Glyn went, Callum Best? But he's only famous because of who his dad was. And Carl went, yeah, but you could say the same about Jesus. Fucking hell. He's got a head like a fucking orange. Oh. But nowadays you can become famous for nothing really, just being famous. You can just go on you can go on Big Brother and be famous. But for what? Well, Kinga, she's famous because in front of 56 cameras on national television, she shoved a wine bottle up her vagina. What do her parents think? When the neighbours came round the next day and went, saw your Kinga on telly last night? Oh yeah, what was she up to? She was up for the fucking label. Nadia, first transsexual winner. That record's safe, I think. She went there for slightly different reasons. Hers wasn't fame per se. Hers was affirmation, really. She wanted to prove something to herself and the rest of the world, and she didn't tell the other housemates she was born a man. She wanted to see if they believed she was a real woman, and they did, to be fair. I remember the blokes talking up behind her back one night, and they were going, that Nadia's a ugly woman. They spotted the jaw and the big hands. Do you know what I mean? It's always the giveaway, isn't it? You can have everything done. You can have all the plumbing done, electrolysis, paint your nails, do hair, makeup, lovely dress, shopping in Tesco's, whole loaves of bread. Hello. Hello. Okay, now. You've done the difficult bit. Get smaller hands. Doesn't matter from where. Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, they might be odd, but at least they're... Or maybe you can get one and wait for that same person to re-offend. Leave your wallet lying around the town square. Got it. Yeah. They still go with a hook out there, don't they? There must be something better than the hook in this day and age. Unless you're escaping from one old ship to another, there must be something better than the hook. You lose your hand, right? You know what? You have a hook. Carry shopping. That's it. I feel sorry for Captain Hook because he shouldn't be defined by his disability, should he? I'm assuming his surname wasn't Hook. If your surname was Hook and you lost a hand, you'd go anything but a hook. It's too obvious. Yeah, they went, we're calling Captain Hook. It's an insult, isn't it? It's like calling Stephen Hawking's Dr. Chair. I think of the first sex change operation. Never been thought of, never been conceived of. You are what, that's it. And yet someone, one day, sitting there and went, I want to change. He went to the doctor and went, Doc, yeah, got an idea. Go on. Lose them, will you? Chop them off, pop on a fanny. What? Lose them, pop on a fanny, couple of tits won't hurt, what's the matter? What do you think? And the doctor went, all right. And you have to live as a woman for a year. You can't just go and have it done willy-nilly. You know, you have to think about it, and you come back after a year and go, I'm sure, I want it. I want the change. You're going to make me into a woman? Yeah. Breasts? Yeah. Real breasts? Well, you won't have be able to breastfeed or Vagina? Yeah. Real vagina? Well, again, it won't have a cervix. No. Take a cock, though, will it? What? It'll take a cock. Well, I'll just make it. I don't want to know what you're going to do with it. It's up to you. No, it needs to take a fair old cock. Well, I'll leave some room, but I'll just make it. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Yours. No, it's just that I love cocks. Do you? Well, yours will be in the bin in a minute. You can take it home with you. Do you think they'd take it home with them? I would. Pop it under the pillow for the knob fairy. That must be worth a bit, mustn't it? One of the traumas of becoming famous was owning your reputation. It's still the most important thing to anyone, whatever walk of life, in whatever status, whatever you do, owning your reputation. And I think of all those people that did all that great work, then someone just started a terrible rumour about them. Like Richard Gere. Someone just said one day, he shoves gerbils up his arse. Why would he do that? He was in Pretty Woman. Would he leave the set, go home and go, oh, Julia Roberts is lovely, but I shove a gerbil on the arse. Why would he? And even if he did, how would we know about it? Wouldn't you keep that pretty close to your chest? You know what I mean? What do you do? Sidle up to a journalist and go, keep this under your hat? I like to shove gerbils up my arse. Nervous. Or did the pet shop man phone the paper and go, Richard Gere was just in here and bought a gerbil, so probably going to shove it up his arse? Can I have 100 quid? It's just, of course he doesn't shove gerbils up his arse. I know that, but these things go in, and I know that's rubbish. But if I was to meet him, if I was round his house, and I was going, oh, nice to meet you, and he had a gerbil, I'd double take. And he'd see me, he'd go, what? I go, nothing, just a gerbil. He'd go, yeah. I go, a pet. He'd go, exactly. I go, oh. But when he went to the kitchen, I'd have to check. Go, tea, yeah, milk, no sugar. And I'd creep over, I'd lift up the lid, get the little guy out. You'd have to check. That is the only way you can check, really, because they can't grasp your... It's the perfect crime, really. They can't, you know what I mean? They can't call Esther Ranson. He's touching me again, so... Do you remember the one about Mark Ullman? Rushed to hospital with cramps, gave him a stomach pump, and found 10 different types of semen in his stomach. What doctor's this? I hope you feel better tomorrow, Mark. Let's have a look. 1. That's a different one. Who's counting stomach sperm? Who's got... And the rumour that went with it, to sort of validate the story, was that Mark had just taken a lineup of sailors. What sailors were these? They get out of Portsmouth and go, oh, gotta dance. Oh. Been at sea for 2 years, my bollocks are bulging, I need a woman. No, I don't. Here comes soft sell, that'll do fine. But you're always in the paper if you're famous. It's never that bad. The last thing that annoyed me even slightly was the Sun called up and said, oh, we know what house you've bought. I went, yeah. I said, we're going to show pictures of it tomorrow. I said, why are you going to do that? And they went, well, we're going to be nice about it. And I thought, well, they could have just done it, but they've warned me and keep on side, and I've got a good relationship, I think. And I went, oh, okay. I said, but don't say where it is and don't say how much it is. So I did it the next day and went, it's in Hampton, and it cost $2.5 million, which really annoyed me because it cost $3.5. And when you put in for planning permission, you put in, the swimming pool, put that in, that's public record. No one told me, so it just appeared in 2 papers the next day, right? But even though they had the same little bit of information, they embellished in completely different ways, right? And the first paper went with, Gervais is in hot water with the neighbours, right? They fear my swimming pool's going to be so big that London's going to cave in, right? The second one went with Gervais is a splash with the neighbours. They love me, right? And this is an example I have to sort of like fill column inches and sort of make... It's quite sweet, really. Gervais forked out more than 2 million for the house in September. He is said to want to settle down with his girlfriend of 20 years. That's settled enough, isn't it? Leaving the wild lifestyle behind him. Now, you're not to know this, but I am usually in my pyjamas by 6 p.m. I come home from work, the telly goes on, the pyjamas go on. Even if there's company, it's, you know what I mean, my house, my rules, pyjamas on. And if we've got, you know, relatives round, Jane says, oh, not the ones with the holes in, that's all she asks. Do you know what I mean? You don't need your mother-in-law, when you bend over, it's like the last chicken in the window going, he's got a tumour. You know what I mean? It's just, no. But you don't want to throw them away. Your pyjamas, they get nicer with age. They get soft, don't they? And they fit you just right. No one's going to see them. I actually invented a game with an old pair of pyjamas with a hole in them. No, you know when it gets sort of really thin, the gusset, then suddenly a little hole appears. You get like a 1/4 inch sort of hole. And when blokes are watching telly, we sort of doodle. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. It's sort of like a comfort thing. I think it's anthropological. I think chimps do it. Not on me, on them. No good to me. They haven't got opposable thumbs or anything. So I've never tried to get a chimp to wank me off. So let's nip that one in the bud. And I discovered, right, that if I pulled out miscellaneous bits of skin, right? No, could be a bit of scrotal sac. Could be a hint of foreskin. You only put it out 1/2 inch. You've got to guess which. It's called offal Jim Jam. No. And you just pull it out, just 1/2 inch, right? And you turn to your girlfriend and you go, offal Jim Jam, cock or ball. It might be genius. I'm thinking of selling that to Waddingtons. If only for the picture on the box. Of all the family, Grandad doing that, little cock or ball. Granny going, actually Grandad could really pull it out, couldn't he? Shut up, you'll be playing it at home. Offal Jim Jam, cock or ball. But the trouble about rumour is, if it's written down, someone will believe it. You could have the most far-fetched, made-up, impossible, illogical bollocks. And if it's in print, someone will believe it. Just look at the Bible. Old Testament. Oh, that's my favourite. That is a rip-roaring read, the Old Testament. It's brilliant. I like the God in that one. He's a better God. New Testament God, he's a bit wishy-washy. He's a bit modern parent. Do you know what I mean? A bit liberal. Turn the other cheek. No, Old Testament God, he's like 50s dad. He takes his belt off and goes, you fucking what? Oh, you know the fucking rules. I've told you. You wound me right up, you muppet. You fucking floods. You, pestilence, fuck off. You, what did you do? That's not too bad. M.E. I've been an atheist since I was about 8 or 9. And when I went to secondary school, by then I knew about natural selection, the Big Bang Theory, carbon dating, and the Earth was 4 billion years old. And so my poor RE teacher, I was the bane of his life. And looking back, he was a bit thick, right? He was one of those teachers that I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just keep my head down. You know what I mean? He came in on a motorbike and played table tennis all day with the div kids just to keep, you know what I mean? You know the sort, don't you? And he hated me. He hated me because I was smart and I wouldn't let him get away with any bollocks, right? So when he said things like, and God made the heaven and the earth in 6 days, and the earth is 5,000 years old. No, it isn't. No, it's 4 billion years old. Why? How can he do that? God can do anything. Well, why did he do it in 6? Why did he do it in 5? Let's push him a little bit. Let's, you know. And he was saying that everything that happens, God does. He's done everything. Everything that happens, he means to happen. He's on top of it. He's everywhere. And everything he does is good. And I went, well, that's clearly not true either. Why are newborn babies taken from their parents? They're innocent. Why are some people born into abject poverty? And he went, because God moves in mysterious ways. That is the theological equivalent of going, look over there. Ooh. It's not an answer, is it? We swear on the Bible in a court of law, still. And if the judge was to say to you, how do you account for the fact you say you're home asleep at midnight, but we found your DNA at the scene of the crime? And you went, I move in mysterious ways. Good night, it won't wash. This is how stupid this teacher was. A kid asked him, he said, "Sir, why do we swear on the Bible in a court of law?" Clearly, the answer is, if you believe in God, if that's your God, you believe in him, you believe he's watching you, you get a guilt trip, you don't lie. He hadn't worked that out. So thinking on his feet, he said, because every law of the land is mentioned in the Bible. I went, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. He went, no, it is. Somewhere in the Bible, every law of this land is mentioned. I went, what, even video piracy, you fucking... One critic, who I know is religious, said, "Oh, Gervais deconstructs the Bible. That's too easy." I'm thinking, well, it shouldn't be. If you believe in that, you think it's a serious doctrine, it shouldn't be too easy to deconstruct. You can't do it with a maths book. You can't look through a book and go, listen to this. Listen to go, oh. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. What cunt wrote that? He said that God is everywhere and in everything. He's solidly through the universe. And I came prepared. I thought, this'll end it. I came in like a little smart ass and went, "Sir, is God in a vacuum which has been scientifically proved to have nothing in it?" He went, "Yep." That's it. I thought, well, I can't win then. So I started saying, "Is he up my arse?